All right, let's dive right into the Mistral AI API. You've probably heard of Mistral. They're the French company that's been making huge waves with AI models that are not only super powerful, but often way more affordable than the other big names. So what we're going to do today is give you a really clear conceptual guide to get you started. Let's do it. And that right there is our promise for this explainer. We are not going to just throw 300 lines of code at you and hope you figure it out. Nope. The whole point here is to understand the why, the big ideas behind how this all works, so you can build a solid mental model. Once you have that, you can go off and build literally anything you want. So first off, who exactly is Mistral AI? Well, think of them as the really exciting challengers stepping into the ring. They're building these top-tier models that perform incredibly well, but, and this is the kicker, they're often much more budget-friendly than the giants you already know. Okay, getting started with this stuff is surprisingly simple, seriously. It really just boils down to a two-part process. First, you need a key to get through the front door. And second, you need a magic wand to actually make things happen. Let's unpack what that means. So that API key, what is it? It's basically your personal secret password to all of Mistral services. You just sign up for a free account on their console, generate a key, and that's it. It is literally the key that unlocks the front door to their entire world of AI models. Now, a really quick but super important tip. You never want to just paste your API key directly into your code, like ever, especially if you're going to share that code on GitHub or somewhere. The pro way to handle this is to use what's called an environment variable. It's kind of like a secret note that lives on your computer, and your code knows how to read it without the secret ever being written down in the file. It keeps your key safe and sound. All right, you've got your key. Now you need that magic wand we talked about, and that is the official Mistral AI Python library. It's super simple. You install it, and then in your code, you create this one little object. We usually just call it client. And this one client object, well, it's your command center for everything you're about to do. See? It really is that simple. Let's just run through the whole setup again. 4 steps. That's it. You create an account, generate your API key, run one little command to install the library, and then create that client object in your code. Boom. You're done. You are officially ready to start building something cool. Okay, so you're all set up. Now we get to the really fun part. How do you actually talk to the AI? Well, it all comes down to a very clean and pretty much universal way to structure a conversation. And what's so cool about this is that basically everyone, Mistral, OpenAI, you name it, uses the same exact format. It's just a list of messages. And every single message in that list has just 2 pieces, a role, which tells you who is talking, and content, which is, you guessed it, what they said. It's beautifully simple. So, about those roles, there are only 3 you need to worry about. The user role, that's you. That's your prompt, your question. The assistant role is for the AI's past responses, and this is crucial. It's how the model remembers the conversation history. But the real secret weapon? That's the system role. This is where you tell the AI how to behave. You can give it a personality, a set of rules. It's incredibly powerful. And check this out. This shows you exactly what I mean. On the left, you ask a normal question, you get a normal, kind of dry answer. But look at the right. Just by adding that one little system message at the very beginning, we've completely changed the game. We told it to be an enthusiastic teacher who talks like a friend. Now that same exact question is going to get a totally different, more fun response. It's a huge difference, and it's so easy to do. Okay, so you know how to structure the conversation. The next question is, who exactly are you talking to? Mistral gives you a whole toolbox of different models, and picking the right tool for the job is super important. So here's the basic lineup. You've got Mistral Small, which is your champion of speed and value. It's perfect for quick, simple tasks. Then there's Mistral Medium, which is kind of your all-around workhorse. It's got the best balance of power and cost. Now, if you need the big guns for really complex reasoning, you reach for Mistral Large. That's the powerhouse. And then you have these cool specialty models like Pixtral, which can actually see and understand images. And here is a little pro tip I absolutely love. See how all those models end with that -latest tag? If you use that tag in your code, Mistral will automatically point you to the newest, most improved version of that model as soon as it's released. This is huge. It means your app gets smarter all on its own without you ever having to change a single line of code. It's brilliant. Okay, let's take stock. You have your key, you have your client, you've crafted your messages, and you've picked your model. All the pieces are on the board. Now it's time to actually put it all together and make the call to the API. When you make that call, you're not just sending your message and hoping for the best. You've got a few dials you can turn. Of course, you tell it which model to use and you pass in your messages. But you can also control the temperature. Think of it as a creativity knob. Turn it down to 0 for straight factual answers. Crank it up, and things get a lot more unpredictable. And my personal favorite, you can force the response to be in a perfect JSON format, which, for any developer, is an absolute lifesaver. So we've looked at all the individual parts, right? The key, the client, the messages. But what does it actually look like when you put it all together in a real project, from start to finish? Let's walk through that flow.
And this is it, the whole flow on one slide. You've got your one-time setup stuff, install the library, load your key, but after that, it's the same simple loop every single time. You create your client, you prepare your list of messages, you make the API call, and then you just grab the text from the response and do something with it. That's the pattern. It's that repeatable flow you'll use to build pretty much anything. Now, we're not just talking about simple chat here. The Mistral API has some really advanced features that are honestly total game changers. Let's take a quick peek at what else you can do. First up, JSON mode. I mentioned it before, but it's so important it deserves its own moment. You can literally command the model to respond only in perfectly structured, valid JSON. For anyone who's ever tried to get clean data out of an AI, you know this is a dream come true. No more messy text parsing, you just get reliable, structured data back every time. Next up is vision. Using a model like Mistral, your conversation isn't limited to just words anymore. You can actually send an image up with your text prompt and ask the AI questions about it. What's happening in this picture? Or identify the brand logo here. This just opens up a whole new universe of possibilities. And this might be the most powerful of all. It's called agents and tools. This is where you give the AI superpowers. You can write your own custom functions, say a function that checks the current weather or searches your company's database, and you give the AI access to these tools. Then the AI can intelligently decide on its own, hey, to answer this question, I need to use the weather tool. It stops being just a text generator and becomes an active agent that can do things. Okay, let's bring it all home. If you remember nothing else from this, lock these 4 core concepts into your mental model. 1, get your key and create your client. That's your front door and your magic wand. 2, structure every single conversation with the messages format. 3, pick the right model for the job at hand. And 4, put it all together and make the call. That's the whole shebang. Look, the Mistral API is just so clean, logical, and fast. Once you really grasp these fundamental building blocks, the sky's the limit. You can build a chatbot, a document analyzer, an intelligent agent, anything you can imagine. The concepts are yours now. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build first?